And good Monday evening to everybody watching. We are back with another episode of Powerhouse Sports. We're going to be joined by the new Excel head football coach, Michael Miles, here in a second. But we are live from Honey's Athletics and Designs in Excel, Alabama. And I have one of the owners here, Johnny Sermon. He's doing a lot of great things here in Excel as far as trying to sell athletic apparel to Excel, something Excel's needed for a very long time. And Johnny, if you don't mind, just kind of tell everybody what Honey Designs and Athletics is about and how y'all got to this point of selling athletic apparel.
We started out of our bedroom about 4 years ago doing shirts, just trying to supply shirts for everybody in the neighborhood. And my wife done a boutique here at the shop. We decided to open our own shop, so we come here and built a shop, thanks to Jason Booth. They helped us out. So we started doing our shirts here. My wife opened up a boutique. The boutique done good. Our shirts do really good. So we kind of brainstormed to see what we could come up with, something that Monroeville doesn't have anymore. And my wife come up with an idea of doing a sports store. Having your baseball bats, softball bats, football pads for your youth, mouthpieces, socks, just anything that you need that Monroeville doesn't have anymore. We kind of got in with Jerry's Sporting Goods in Spanish Fort. We called Josh Wild and Mr. Chase down there and got in with them, talked to them about bringing some stuff down here to supply us with. And so far it's done really good.
In case nobody has seen our post, I'm going to grab one of these. So they're one of the main suppliers, actually the only supplier for Powerhouse Sports Apparel. So if you want to come and support us anyway and support them, they'll come to Excel. It has a number of things you can buy. Support the athletes, support them. They do a lot of great things for the community as far as every aspect goes. But Johnny, anything else about Honey Designs?
Just come by and see what we got. We got baseball gloves, baseball bats, baseballs. We got anything for sports that you need. If we don't have it, we're taking suggestions on things that everybody is wanting us to have. If you have an idea that you want us to get, send it to us. We will have access to it to put in the store so you can have.
And Johnny, we appreciate you getting on it for a second. Probably a little bit nervous doing the spot a little bit.
Oh yeah.
But we appreciate you. If everybody watching, y'all like and share. If you're an Excel Panther fan, if you're around the area, if you're a friend of Michael Miles, y'all make sure y'all share it, tag your friends, because when we come back, the new Excel head football coach, Michael Miles, will be on the show joining us. So in Excel, Alabama, the word community is not something that's just printed on a sign. It's something that you see every Friday night. It's the families filling the stands, the former Panthers leaning on the fence, and the young kids dreaming that one day their name will be called under those Friday night lights. And tonight, Panther football begins a new chapter with a man who already understands the program and what it means to the people of Excel. Michael Miles returns home, but this time now he's the head football coach of your Excel Panthers, carrying the responsibility of rebuilding the program, developing young men, and restoring belief across Panther Nation. Tonight, we are live from Honey Designs and Apparel here in Excel, Alabama. Welcome to another edition of Powerhouse Sports Inside the program. Tonight, the Excel Panthers will have the floor to discuss everything going on with Panther football and the new era under Michael Miles. And Coach, thank you again for spending your Tuesday night with us. I said Monday earlier. Tuesday night with us, and kind of tell everybody your journey to to become the next head football coach at Excel?
Well, thank you, number one, for letting me on here and letting anytime the black and gold is on camera and people know about the black and gold, it's a good day for us in Excel. Number two, I'd like to thank Honey Designs and Apparel for allowing us to have this here. Again, Excel is one of those places, and I was here in 2024. Actually, let me back up. I came here in 2021 to play Excel as an assistant at Chickasaw High School. And when I say that, the old saying, when you fall in love, you fall head over heels. As an assistant on the sideline, watching those kids come out to back in black, watching the community come out of the stands, shoot those streamers, listen to the band of gold, and just seeing the environment that was at Excel, Alabama, it was something that I said, if I ever got the opportunity to coach there, if I ever got the opportunity to be a part of a place like that, I'm never going to turn it down. And thankfully, a few years later, I was good friends with Clint Humphrey, who was offensive coordinator at the time, and he and I had talked ball, just different places, and just kind of got to know each other real well. And there was an opportunity to be the defensive coordinator, and I got a chance to work under Jason Phillips and work with him in 2024. And when I say, and I talk about this with some of our assistants, Coach Wiggins and Coach Butler, and some of the guys that I worked with at that point, when I say that summer and that football season was the most fun I've ever had coaching, that's not a lie. A lot of times you hear people say most fun, time went by fast. I looked up, it was May. We showed up. We used to do 2-a-days. Back then I was still working at Chickasaw. I took some time off to come up here. We lifted. Kobe Sermon's in the crowd. He was a senior then. I don't think he was lifting. I think he was still getting recovering, trying to get ready to play. But we lifted in the morning and at 5 o'clock, and then the kids would go to school, and we came and we practiced after school. And when I say that was May the 15th of 2024, I looked up, it was December of 2024, and the whole football season had gone by. And so I just love the town of Excel. When I was here before, I coached girls basketball. One thing I love about this town is that it's not just a football town. It's a sports town. They love Excel. Like when they say places bleed black and gold, this place bleeds black and gold. And it's not just folks that graduated 5 years ago. It's folks that graduated 20 years ago. They love this town. And to me, I went to school at Daphne High School. I graduated from Central Nell, teams that have a lot of tradition and a lot of support. But it's nothing like here in Excel, Alabama, where the people love, they genuinely love, and they want their student athletes to be great leaders, great young men, great young women, great husbands, great fathers, great wives, right? They want to make the entire person. And I think a lot of people that make a lot of lip service and say that, but this is a town where you see it happen because you see these kids go and they play for the program. And then a few years later, they have their own families. They're in the city. They're in the town. They're leading their own communities. So that's just one thing I love about Excel. I had the opportunity, like I said, in 2024 to be the defensive coordinator here. We ended up we went 6-5. You ask people in Excel, we went 7-5. We beat Leroy in the Jamboree. That was a really, really big deal. And it was just a big deal to be around kids that play with a different level of toughness. I coached in 2A and 3A ball, and I coached against Excel. But seeing the kids every day, a lot of coaches talk about playing with grit, playing with toughness. When you see kids that give everything they got to where when the game's over, they literally can't get back in the locker room, and they do that every single day, there's something different about that. There's something different about lining up across from a guy that he's going to quit before I do. And that's what Excel football is about. And that's what we're going to be about here is that level of grit and toughness. But when you see it at the community level, where it doesn't matter if we're up by 50 or down by 50, people are going to pack out Panther Stadium. And that's really, really important for us here at Excel. Again, we talk about, Ms. McFall talks about all the time, rebranding Excel, bringing tradition back. Okay, it doesn't matter how you start, it's how you finish. And we're going to finish everything here at Excel. And that starts with people coming out and supporting and being a part of it.
Look, Coach, you've been on now for a total of probably 2 minutes. And one of the guys, where's he at? Grayson Malone said earlier, there he is. He told me earlier today, if Michael Miles will make you want to run through a brick wall today, by the time you get done, then something's wrong. You've been here 2 minutes. I want to go up there, run through a brick wall. And all you do is some of the community so far. But, Coach, let me fix this real quick. So, obviously, you kind of answered the question already a little bit, but what made Excel the right one? Because I know you probably dreamed of being a head coach one day. But when Excel made the phone call to you, what made Excel the right one?
So I was a defense coordinator at BC Rain. I worked for Coach Lawrence Yelding. Coach Yelding was actually a family friend. He coached me in Little League baseball, basketball, football. His son and I played ball together at Daphne. So I've known Coach Yelding for a long time, and it's somebody that I go to a lot when I have questions about, hey, what do you think about this, coach? What do you think about this job? Or, is it the right time? And when I was working for him and this job came open, I had a feeling, I thought maybe my phone would ring, but my phone started ringing. And at first I said, I just don't think, And part of it's self-doubt. I don't think that I'm worthy to be there because when I was there before, I didn't live in the community. You know, I drove an hour and a half. And again, I did everything I was asked of me. But at the same time, this is a place where they deserve their head coach to live in the community. They deserve to go see their head coach when they go to AJ's and eat breakfast. They deserve to go see their head coach go and walk down the street walking their dog. They want to see you as part of the community. And that was something that I couldn't do before. So I felt like if I had the opportunity, I wanted to do it right. And when the phone call was made and people were like, "Are you going to take this?" I said, if they offer me, there's no way I can turn this down because, again, I told you, if it was ever going to be an opportunity for me to be here and be the head football coach at Excel High School, above all, I couldn't turn it down. Because, again, since I was 14 years old and my wife, Hayden Miles, she's at work right now, she'll know we were walking the hallways of Daphne High School and she said, "What are we going to do when we graduate?" I said, "Well, hopefully one day I'll be a head football coach and athletic director." And, again, a lot of people say that. That's something that I want to do for a long time. And I'm just thankful that I was given the opportunity. And, again, I hadn't been here but a short time. But again, like I said the other night, you know, it's never going to be about me. It's about the kids and about the community. And I do want people to understand that I take this job very, very seriously on the hints of not just being the football coach, but being a member of this community. That's really, really important to me. It's vital to who we are.
So you and your wife are high school sweethearts?
Yes. Yeah.
That is
Been
so
together
precious.
since 2011. 2011.
We'll get to her in a second. So when she watches this later, you can embarrass her and lie to her and say we said something else. But, Coach, obviously, new coach from the good coaches. They've got a lot of experience. Obviously, you talked about Clinton Humphreys at Strawn now. But what is one of the biggest lessons that you think prepared you now that you learned from another head coach to be the head coach at Excel?
So I had a great opportunity when I first started coaching for money when I wasn't a volunteer. I coached at Chickasaw High School in 2020. I worked for head coach Ryan Little. And I worked for, he was the assistant coach, offensive line coach, CJ Herring. He was actually my offensive line coach when I played at Citronelle my senior year. So I kind of kept that connection. And one of the big things, and number one, Coach CJ Herring has taught me a lot, not just about being a head coach, being a man. Ryan Little, the same. I called Ryan about 2 hours ago. He's probably going to be mad at me because I didn't call him back. But I called him about 2 hours ago. I want to ask him a question just about something. Because Ryan Little always had a big say, and I know every coach says it, but I take what Ryan says to heart. Ryan always said, you either coach it or you allow it. And that's everything. It's not just football. It's how the kids interact. It's how the kids walk in the room. How are they in a meeting? Do they have their eyes up? How are they interacting with people in the community? How are you interacting with them? How are you modeling for them? And just being able to work under Coach Little, Coach Hobson, who is his defense coordinator. I worked with him at BC Rain, and I worked with him at Chickasaw. Just being able to work under those guys, great men. And a place like Chickasaw, it was very much so we had to get it out the mud there. We didn't have a lot of support. It was almost the inverse of Excel. Everything we had to get on our own. And it was fundraising, picking kids up, which, again, that's what you do as a football coach. Mm-hmm. But it let me appreciate it. It helped me understand that, hey, there's levels to this. You know, when you talk about what it means to be a football coach and people talk about their problems, there's always levels to everything because you could always be at a place where there isn't support, where you do have to wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and go pick kids up and knock on doors just so you can have summer practice. And watching Coach Little and Coach Herring work and absolutely outwork people around them, it made me feel like I got to keep up with the Joneses. And so that's one thing I learned from Coach Little was just you either coach it or you allow it. And if you ask kids, you want the best from them, you have to give them your best every day, even when you don't feel like it. And they're watching everything you do. They're watching how you interact between drills, how you interact with coaches. You know, one of the biggest things is I've kind of, and the great thing about this staff is I know just about everybody on the staff I've worked with. And I've never worked at a place where I haven't enjoyed being around the guys I work with. And one of the biggest things that I know at our staff is everybody that works on this staff, our kids are going to see us interact and cut up together. They're going to see us love each other. So at the end of the day, if we love each other, we're going to love the kids. But if the kids don't feel that, they're never going to be a team. And so that's been a big thing is, you know, when we were at Chickasaw, we're in a group chat with each other. All the coaches we coach with the Chickasaw, we still talk to each other because we worked so hard together and built such a connection that stuff carries over. And again, we have that at Excel too. And it's great that the kids can see that because they see what true brotherhood looks like. And so just learning those things from Coach Little, right? Just the admin part of it, you know, coaching the kids hard. One thing that we did at Chickasaw was we have to go and fundraise like crazy, right? We have to leave practice and you go beat on every business in Chickasaw. Say, hey, I need $200. Can you cover this pregame meal? And by the time you look up, it's 7:30. You got to go home and you do it all over again. And so just doing that when I first started out coaching, it helped me appreciate a place like Excel where, yes, there is work to do, but there's people that are willing to help and there's people that are willing to be in there with you. So.
And for everybody watching, whether you're a former player, you're a fan, y'all make sure you like and share. Comment below if you have a question or for Coach Miles or support. I can show them here on the screen a little bit. But Coach, you mentioned Coach Little. Has there been any friendly banter yet about anything else?
Yeah, he just told me he was hoping I went 9-1. So you know how it goes. I know, and again, I love Coach Little. He's doing a great job there at Jackson. But again, the black and gold's got to roll into Jackson week 7, I believe. So again, it'll be a great night, and it'll be a great night of football. And again, the great thing I know about Coach Little is he's always going to have his kids ready to play. And the thing that he found out when we were here in 2021, we beat Chickasaw because and I see Kay Barnett here. I'm gonna pick at him. Kay Barnett snapped the ball over A-back's head, and luckily that's how we won the ball game. They lost a 2-point conversion. What we found out is that the Panthers, the black and gold, always comes to play, and they're always going to try and hit people in the mouth, and we're going to go to the next play. And so again, love Coach Little, but we play on week 7, so we're excited about that here too.
And Coach, you've been officially the head coach now for, was it a week?
It's been July the 9th, so going on, this is week 3.
So week 3.
Yeah.
So what's been the most change from assistant to a head coach? Is it the phone calls? Is it the messages? What's been the main difference now since being the head coach at Excel?
Again, I go back to like my time at Chickasaw. I remember when Coach Little left Chickasaw and took the job at T.R. Miller, and Coach Herring got the head coaching job at Chickasaw. He was the offense coordinator, and he obviously got promoted to the head coach. I was defense coordinator, and he just kept saying, Mike, if I could just turn my phone off for 10 minutes and get a little bit of peace and quiet. His phone just never stopped ringing. And at first, it's gotten better now. But the first 2 weeks, I felt like that phone gun just never stopped ringing. Just buzz, buzz, buzz. So my wife said, she said, you're always on that phone. He said, now it's going to be worse. I said, I know, but it's part of it. So just kind of trying to manage time. When I was a coordinator, I try to watch as much film and be prepared. I'm always a big believer in, you can control a lot, and preparation is one of those things you can control. So trying to juggle, practice schedules and making sure we got things for the kids to eat and drink, and making sure we got, headsets are good to go and turf tanks good. You got paint, all this stuff. Trying to juggle, really, really pushes your time management. Got to flex that time management muscle. So it's just been kind of a just a shift and just making sure everything's on the right level. Make sure we're spending enough time in the film room. Obviously at practice. The football is the easy part. You go to football and weight room. That's my favorite part. Then whenever it's time for practice to end, that's when the real work begins. So it's just been trying to manage that time. And again, it's a great community. There's so many people that help us out. Our booster club, every day after practice, they come and bring our kids something to drink and something to eat. That's just when they get off the field. They have something to eat and drink. And that's a little thing, but that's a big thing for me, because they don't have to do that. They could say, well, I've got things to do. I've got to work. They don't have to do that. They do that because they love Excel. They love these kids. And that's a big thing for me. It's just taking that time, that little bit, that 10 minutes. That's a big thing for me.
And Coach, you started some friendly trash talk now between Cade and Eli, because he says the reason why Eli played center the next year. So there's that one. So, Coach,
I didn't mean to start the war. Sorry, guys.
The good part is you can see everything that goes on here,
yeah.
so it's not bad.
Right.
But obviously, it's the first time being a head coach of a football program. I know it's going to be a blue-collar type football team. I obviously talked about Excel and how they're grit and grind. But what can Excel fans expect to see when they look at Michael Miles or a Michael Miles football team at Excel?
The biggest thing about, and again, I know I'm the head football coach, but I believe, and I mean this, it's not my football team. I've been gifted the opportunity to be the head football coach, to be the one that's responsible for this program and these kids. It's our football team. It's the town of Excel's football team, and I want to represent that. And the biggest thing is, look, whether we were at Chickasaw, we're at BC Rain, our kids on defense, and Kobe Sermon can tell you, our kids on defense, we call ourselves the dark side for a reason. When we play defense, it's a gritty, hit you in the mouth every play. We don't quit. It's you and me. And that's the way we play football here at Excel. That's the way we play football here now, is we hit you in the mouth, we get up and we do it again. And eventually we've prepared so much that someone's going to drop and it's not going to be us. We believe in 11 hats to the ball. We believe in controlled violence between plays. We don't believe we're not a finesse football team. We're a lineup. We're going to fit power 15 times a game to see if you can do it. And if you're going to have to beat us over the top. Offensively, we share the same mindset. Coleman Swain is an absolute genius when it comes to offensive line and calling plays. And offensively, it's the same thing. We're going to line up, we're going to hit you in the mouth, and we're going to make you quit. And you may beat us, but you're going to have to take it from us. It's not going to be something that you can just come get it. We're not going to just give it to you. And again, these kids have, and some of them, a lot of them know me from 2 years ago, but these kids are starting to buy into that idea of we believe in Exeter, Alabama, that you can still outwork people. There's some people that don't believe that believe it's talent. I throw back to Ryan Little. Ryan Little gets mad at me all the time because I put it on everything. We believe in Excel. We believe in toughness over talent every day of the week, because at the end of the day, talent's going to run out At some point, there's going to be someone that's bigger, faster, and stronger than you. But if I out tough a guy, it works in a football game. It also works when you're 35 and you got to go to work and you got to work a double and you've had a long day and your wife's mad at you. You got to go to work. You got to keep doing it because you're a tough person. And again, there's an old saying, I think Kirby Smart says, tough people win. That's what we believe in. And we believe that's how we play football here. We're a tough group and we're going to play that way.
And Cade claims that Colby Sermon never hit anybody. So there's that one.
It's not true. You go watch W.S. Neal 2 years ago. He did. He hurt some poor soul.
And Coach, obviously, wins and losses, they're going to come as a part of the game. But what's the culture you're trying to build now before wins and losses even, start getting on the schedule? What's the culture you're trying to build first before you get to that point?
All right, so we talk about every day in our program, our big thing is own it, right? We believe in the ultimate accountability for this program is that you own your piece of the pie. I own my piece of the pie as the head football coach, as the athletic director in Excel. Our players own their piece of the pie as an offensive lineman, outside tackle, strong guard, quick guard, defensive end, inside linebacker. You own your piece of the pie on the field, but you also own your piece of the pie whenever someone doesn't follow up to our standard. If our standard is we're going to own everything we do, we're going to do it to the best of our ability, and someone falls short, I have to call that guy out because if I don't really care about it, right? We talk about our 3 pillars in our program every day. It's toughness, grit, and love. And we throw love out there and people kind of laugh, but we don't think about it as like a sweet love, right? We talk about love as being, I care about something so much that I'm willing to say what I need to say to make sure you hold the standard, right? The old saying is, if I'm waving at you while you walk off a cliff and being nice to you, I'm not really love you. But if you're doing wrong, it's my job as your head football coach, right, to make sure that you're doing what you're supposed to do and know that this is not how we do things. It's your job as a player, as a part of the community, that when you see something that's not up to our standard, you call it like it is, and then we move on, and it's over with. So we believe in owning everything we do. We believe in showing up on time, right, attacking every day. We say it every day. It's not about what you do. It's how you do it. How do you attack the weight room? How do you attack the meeting, right? We talk about it every day. Every time we hit a knee, it's eyes up, chest up. We listen with our eyes. You hear our guys say that all the time. Because, again, you walk around, and it's not just in football. It's not in sports. It's in life, right? I can't tell you how many guys you walk into a room and say, hey, how you doing? They won't look you in the face and won't shake your hand, right? That's kind of the crux of who you are as a man is, do you greet people? Do you own everything you do? Can you look people in the face and say you did everything you could? And so that's the basis of our football team is, are you going to out tough people? Are you going to play and practice with grit? Is your preparation going to be enough to own what you do every day? And that's who we are. And again, we don't talk about wins and losses, right? And we're not ever going to talk about wins and losses because the outcome is irrelevant. If you prepare like you're supposed to and do what you're supposed to do, and everybody owns every part of this program, wins and losses come. Because at the end of the day, if we will go 15-0 and all we do is win championships, but we're not producing great young men, I believe this. I'm a bad football coach. We can talk about how great we are at wins and losses, put on TikTok, talk about how good we are at all the things we do. But at the end of the day, what alumni, what are you producing in your community? Are your alumni coming back and giving back to your program? If they are, you got a great program. If they're not, then we got to think about some things, which is why I love Mr. McFall's idea of we're rebranding Excel. We're bringing tradition back. We want people, if you play for the program, to be around. Because, again, Excel was built on grit and toughness. So that's who we are.
I love it. Absolutely love it. And, Coach, the first thing, when you met your team, obviously, they get to meet you and hear about you or hear from you, where you came from and obviously your goals. What was the first thing you told your team the first time you met them?
Well, first thing I told them was that I loved them, and that if they didn't know I was going to love them, that I was going to love them, and it may not be the way you think. And I'll be always nice to you. I may be loud and I may yell a little bit, but I do love you. And I told them I'm going to coach them hard. I'm going to love them harder. A lot of them knew me from before. The first week I was kind of incognito, but not really. I was watching practice from the truck, and everybody was waving at me, and I was like, man, get back to practice. All right. So, but no, the first thing I told them was, look, guys, like I told everybody the other night, it's not about me. It's about us. It's about what we can do together. We have some of the best facilities in Monroe County. What are we doing to honor that? We have some of the best support in the state. What are we doing to honor that? How are you honoring the jersey that's on your back? How are you honoring the hat that you wear every Friday night? Is it just something you say, or is it something you do? It's going to be something that we do around here, and that's players and coaches. I told our coaches on day one, the great thing about, I talked to my buddy Clint Humphrey, and he told me, because I asked him, I said, Clint, tell me what's some things I can be looking out for. He said, Coach, that first practice is going to be terrible. He said, because you're going to be you, and you're going to try and do everything. You're going to try and coach everything, and you're going to forget to coach your coaches. You're going to forget to look at your coaches, and you're going to feel like you're a terrible coach. And so the great thing was that first week I got to kind of observe, and I got to kind of watch coaches coach, and it helped me understand, hey, we got to, it ain't just players. We got to be on the same page as adults. And so that was a really good thing that first week, just being able to kind of observe and watch how things were run. and it was a really good experience. But no, I just told the guys, hey, I'm gonna love you, and you're gonna know I love you, and sometimes I'm gonna love you a little bit too much. You're gonna be like, doggone, coach, will you get off my butt? But that's what I'm here for. My job is to hold you accountable. If I don't hold you accountable, I'm not doing my job.
And coach, you kind of already talked about it a little bit, off and on. You talk about, your players want to be great men in the community. So outside of football, when they go home or they go out to eat on a Friday or Saturday night, what do you expect? What's your expectation for your players away from the football field and away from the campus? I
just expect that whenever an athlete or a student of Excel walks into a room, number one, you carry yourself with a presence. And number two, you're kind, you're respectful to people, right? There's a difference between being sweet and being kind, right? We don't believe in raising sweet men. We believe in raising kind, good men, right? When you walk into a room, right, you hold the door for people. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes or no. So you shake people's hand, you look them in the eye, but you're proud about Excel. Like I told our guys today, I said, you shouldn't be hanging around. If anybody in your circle is downing Excel or what we do, you can't be around them because you got to protect what it is that you work for every day. And so, I just tell the guys all the time, you always want to act as if you're around and you're always representing Excel, even if you don't have the jersey on, right? We always want to represent the community. We always want to represent it in a positive way, okay? We always want to make sure people know this is what Excel produces. We produce good young men and women who show up on time and do what they're supposed to do. And when they go out, right, they act accordingly.
And coach, obviously, as a assistant coach, a head coach now, but what do you say the biggest challenge might be, or what you've seen through, going to a new school, whatever the case may be? What will be the biggest challenge in the off season as you prepare for the fall?
Well, we got started kind of late. That's been 3 weeks. Obviously, we play our first football game. We play Leroy in the Jamboree on the 14th, and then we go to Linden on the 21st. The biggest thing right now is just we're not two ways. We don't have guys that go one way. We're a two-way team where guys are playing on both sides of the ball. And so the biggest thing is, we talked to them about it this week about, hey guys, what kind of team we are. We are the kind of team where we have to do the work and we complain about it because it's hard, or are we the kind of team that we're mature enough to say, hey, we play a football game in less than 30 days. So we have to be in a position where we can play 85, 90 snaps a game and hit people every single play. And so thus far, we've done a really good job of, some guys have struggled, but the core of us have done a really good job of attacking it every day and giving everything they got. And when they leave, they're spent, which is the way it should be. And so the biggest struggle is just trying to get guys in shape, trying to get guys, the terminology is the same for the most part. Because again, we were here 2 years ago, same terminology on defense. Offensively, we haven't really changed the terminology. Just getting guys to learn how to practice at a certain pace. That first practice, I remember just kept saying, hey, how we do things matters. We're flying around. We don't walk. We don't walk in the weight room. We don't walk between drills. And then it kind of become something they got accustomed to. And so now we're getting to where we're kind of flying around and practice a little bit. But again, if you haven't done that before, the first time you do it, it sucks. Mm-hmm. Second or third time, it's not very fun. But once you get used to it, it's something that becomes second nature. And so it's just trying to get the kids to kind of shift the mindset to, hey, we got to do this. No, we get to do this. And we got to get ready to play a football game.
And coach, is there any position groups, any maybe seniors, juniors, sophomores, freshmen, whatever the case may be? Is there any group that surprised you so far since taking the head coaching job and starting practice?
I'll tell you what. So we have 3 really, really good seniors that worked their tail off. Caleb Birch is going to play some of our quick guard and strong guard. Zane Pardon is going to play defensive end and some fullback for us. And Mason Goldman played. Mason and Caleb actually played when I was here before. Zane did not. Zane played last year. He was actually going to play when I was leaving when I took the job at BC Rain. But Caleb Birch is what we call. He's a program kid. He's been through since middle school, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior year. And Caleb is one of those kids that he's been around the terminology so long. When we're in Indy and we're working our two-step punch with Coach Swain, working our down blocks, working our combos. Caleb's one of those guys. He already knows it. So he's coaching these younger kids up with their hands. When Coach Swain's coaching the kid or I'm coaching the kid, Caleb's over there when he's not in coaching the kid up. Hey, this is what coach is trying to get you to do. Hey, fire off the football. And he's showing these guys. And then again, Caleb's not a big kid, but Caleb's the kind of kid, he's going to fire off. He's going to hit you in the mouth every play. And I remember, I think yesterday I was holding the bag for him. We were working combo drills. I'm holding the bag for Caleb. And I remember when I was at DC here, I was holding the bag when Coach Swain was working Indy. And Caleb hit me, and I was like, man, you got to give him more than that. And he hit me the other day and about knocked me off my feet. I was like, God, thanks, son. But no, he's busting his tail. He's trying to lead. He's doing it the right way. Zane Pardon is a kid. He's got a little bit of twitch to him. He's going to play our defensive end and fullback, and he gives it everything he's got. I watched him a little bit last year, came and watched a few games, and he's really starting to grow as a player and a leader, especially in the weight room. In the weight room, he's really trying to lead guys and pick guys up, especially the ones that kind of are slow to get it. He's done a really good job of doing that. Mason Goldman, actually, when he was a freshman, played the bandit position, our outside backer for us. He's going to play some bandits, some defensive end for us this year. Mason is kind of getting back in the swing of things as well. But one thing I'll say about Mason is he's probably had, out of the 3 weeks, this has been his best week of practice. And I'm proud that he's back out and he's doing everything he's supposed to do. I told him, him and I had a hard conversation. I said, look, this ain't the Mason Goldman that I saw when I was here 2 years ago, but I'm starting to see that kid kind of pick back up. So I'm really excited about him. He's going to play some fullback for us and some outside linebacker. There's a lot of young kids, too, that are playing. Braxton Dink is going to be a junior. Braxton didn't play for us when I was here before. He was a freshman, but he's been playing some tight end, some X, playing some outside linebacker, and he absolutely plays with a high motor. He's going to get a lot of reps this year. Fielding Wiggins, he is a sophomore. He plays our inside linebacker. He's going to play a lot of A-back and B-back, too. He runs the ball. He reminds me of if you're 2 years ago, you're an XL fan, Keon Johnson. He runs the ball. He wants to punish people. Like I told him, if we get him to play defense that way, we'll be okay. Mike McFadden is going to be a really, really good player for us. Mike's going to play our stinger. Mike's going to be a freshman. We have a lot of really young kids that are playing and practicing at a high level. Colin Crawford is going to be our A-back. He's sitting over there. He's, again, when I was here before, okay, he was an 8th grader, and he was playing quarterback. He was playing inside linebacker. He was sitting in our Indy drills. Right, he knows all our terminology. But Colin was one of those kids, when you put him at scout team quarterback, he's running all over Colby Sermon and them, just lighting it up on him. And so now just to see him now kind of growing into that leadership role and picking guys up, it's just great to see that kind of stuff. It makes my heart happy.
And Coach, one thing we took away from the meet and greet we were at, you're always going to say it's not about you, it's about the kids. It's about the community of Excel. So just kind of digging into this a little bit, what does that statement mean to you? And then two-part question to it is how important is it for a small town like Excel to rally around the football program?
I've been around the game of football my whole life. I played for a really, really good high school football coach, Coach Glenn Vickery. And one thing I loved about Coach Vic was Coach Vic never made it about him. Coach Vic was always kind of in the background. Coach Vic was never like out at front where everybody could see him. At practice, he was with his position group, but he never made it about him. It was always about us. It was always about the purple and gold. It was always about, how could he get kids ready to play on Friday nights? And so, I always said if I ever got the opportunity to, it's not going to be about me. It's got to be about the kids, because the kids are what drive it. Coaches come and go, but how you do things matters, and how kids attack things matter, and what you pour into them, what they take from it matters. And so, I meant what I said. It's not about me. It's about the community and the town. Again, when you roll up here on a Friday night, it's like something out of a book, something out of a movie. It's the entire town shut down. Everybody's in the stands, packed out. We got the speakers blowing, got the music going, the band's playing. It's just a different environment. The air is different. And I've coached in Mobile, right, in different areas, and it's not the same. Man, when you roll into Panther Stadium on a Friday night, it is not the same everywhere else, right? They'll say they're not like us. They're not like us.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get rowdy like they do everywhere else, like they do at Panther Stadium. So that speaks to the community and how much people love this athletic program in the school.
So you talked about the alumni, the former players being welcomed in here. So I know there's a couple of them commenting on here. So what would be your message to the former Panther players and alumni about being welcomed back, or things they need to do to be able to get back around the program?
Well, like I told in our touchdown club meeting, this is our field house. This is the community. Again, it's I'm over it. It's our athletic facility, but we want you to come by and stop by. All you got most of the time, that red Toyota sitting out there, we're there. We want you to come knock on the door, and we want you to come see us. Like some of these guys, I know some of them I know just from being here before, but if you played for XL, or you're around, you're an alumni, and you want to support and be a part and do something, come knock on the door. We'll have a conversation. We want you around, because we want our kids to see, hey, here's what XL produces. Here's what you had to look forward to. Here's what their experience was. They wore the black and gold just like you. They sat in this, again, the locker room is now the film room, but they were in the same room as you. They played on the same field as you, right? They may have played different teams, but they played where you played. And so we want them to get that interaction.
And Coach, obviously you're kind of late in the game, late in the summer, but not even talking about wins and losses right now. What would you consider a successful season at Excel at the end of 2026?
A successful season to me is, number one, we don't just play all 10 games, that we fight, and we show the community what it means to play football. Last year, I think some of the kids, as the year went on, it wasn't really a fight. It was kind of, we got to get through it. I want it when people leave Panther Stadium, when we leave their stadium, they say, I don't want to play XL anymore. I don't, even win or lose, I don't want to play those cats anymore. I don't want to tackle Colin Crawford again. I'm sick of tackle. I don't want to tackle Power anymore. Let coach, can we play somebody else? I want them again. And I believe that, right? It's either, I tell our guys all the time, it's either you or him. Which one is it? And so when people get done playing the black and gold, I want them to know, hey, they were in for 4 quarters of fight, and it may take 5, and we're going to do everything we can to make sure we take it home, and we're going to make you take it from us. And that's to me, that's a successful season. It's a season that people can be proud of, that whenever we get off the field, people are proud of the way we played. It may not, the outcome may not have been what we wanted it to be, but people are proud of the way we prepared, we conducted ourselves, we didn't lose our cool, we fought for 4 quarters, and we represented the community the way it's supposed to be represented.
And Coach, before we get the young man over there on, so 5 years from now, a great 5 years of XL football, what do you hope XL football looks like in those 5 years?
I hope in 5 years our seniors now and our seniors next year and the seniors the year after come back are heavily involved in the program. I hope they're heavily involved in the school. I hope they're heavily involved in our athletics, and I hope that XL Athletics continues to grow and continues to be a part of this town, and XL continues to grow. You know, it's not just football, it's basketball, right? It's cross country, it's track, right? It's baseball, it's softball, right? It's cheers, band, all this stuff matters, right? All of it matters. It's all a part of XL. I just want our athletic programs to continue to grow and add more kids to it. Because again, the more kids that are playing, the better. The more people that wear that black and gold uniform and wear it with pride, the better it is for us as a community.
Coach, I've enjoyed it so far. I'm gonna give you a little bit of breather.
Okay.
But let's introduce this young man that we have sitting over here, and we'll talk to him for a few minutes.
Okay.
He's right here. All right. Let's slide on this way. Good to have you. Thank you for taking your busy summer night to be with us. So the fans that don't know you, and from some of the people that may not know you as well, kind of introduce yourself, what grade you're in, what position you play.
So my name's Colin Crawford. I'm going into my sophomore year, and I'm going to start quarterback.
So QB1, huh?
Yes, sir.
Well, there's rat poison on it. I'm sorry. I didn't reread these. So, if there's anything he says out the way, just kick me out the butt. Be all right. So your first team meeting with Coach Miles, obviously some change can be kind of scary, especially for some seniors, juniors. But what was that first team meeting like when Coach Miles got the job?
I mean, it was kind of good because, like, I already knew the guy, and he's a great coach, and I love to have him back. And I feel like he's going to turn this program around and lead us into a good spot in the future.
So what kind of energy, I guess 2 questions for you. So what's kind of stood out most about his personality, and also what kind of energy has he brought in these first 3 weeks of being the head coach?
He's brought a lot of good energy, and I've seen a bunch of the players taking his energy out and just picking it up off him. And it's just good to have like a good coach back and just to follow his lead.
So obviously it's important, coaches and players got to gain that trust. But has there been any team meetings or team messages about, hey, not just the coaches and players, but us players got to build trust within each other and also kind of build this relationship as well to be successful?
Yeah, there's been kind of like just you can tell that we trust a lot, like we trust each other, and we just, because like we've grown up together and we just all trust each other.
So I got a question for you. This is off the wall question. So you a little bit nervous right now?
A little bit.
So let me ask you some fun questions here. I like doing this for people. Coach, I'm sorry. Is there any habits that Coach Miles has right now that kind of cracks the team up?
Just the way he yells, just kind of.
This is the fun part of the show, It is good.
I like going to doing impressions.
You do an impression?
No.
You sure? But as a quarterback, some players have certain music they got to listen to. Some people don't wash their underwear for 3 weeks and they play a game they win. Type of, I guess, superstition you have, any type of music you listen to for the game?
Not really.
You just go there and ball out?
Yeah.
That's what I like to hear. So going back here to the football side of it, so has Coach Miles kind of told the leaders of the team, the senior group, junior group, what he expects from y'all as leaders in the team?
He's like told everybody to kind of step up and be a leader themselves, but he said seniors, sophomores, juniors, they just got to step up and everybody can be a leader on this team.
And it's no secret, some people, obviously it's a tough 3A Region 1. A lot of people tend to doubt XL. People, kind of seem as an underdog. But is there some strength a part of this team that people may not know about?
Yeah, we're just young, but I think by the time we start growing, we'll get better and better, and we just have to keep showing up and get stronger and bigger and just keep growing.
Coach, I like him right now.
I'm saying.
So it's a lot of coach speak. You nervous too?
Oh, I'm good. I do this every day.
They started sweating over there for a second. But I'm going to ask you, I asked the coach, I'm going to ask you the same thing. So you're the other quarterback. You see a lot of young guys around you. Is there any players in particular that people may not know about? They might know about going into 5 or 6 or week 5 or week 6 of the season.
Well, there's CJ Prayer. He was my main target on JV. We got Cam Kyles. He's a great corner. He's tall and lanky. We got Corday. He's going to start safety probably, and he's pretty good. He's just young. So.
And then obviously, so you're from Mixo, right?
Yes, sir.
Born and raised here. What does it mean to you to be able to wear the black and gold on Friday nights?
It feels great because like I've just grown around everybody, and it feels good to have a community behind my back that everybody trusts me.
So between you and I, Coach ain't listening. Who does the best Michael Miles impression on the team? Has anybody tried it yet?
Nobody's tried it yet.
Get back to me on that one.
I will.
And then inside the locker room, kind of as we close it up with you, inside the locker room, is there any team goals you've already set about Panther football in 2026?
We just want to grow and get better, and just everybody needs to come to practice every single day so that way we can get better and hit our goal to win.
I like it. Some fun questions for you as we wrap it up here with you. So, number 1, who talks the most trash on the team?
I don't know. Pretty much a bunch of us do.
Now back it up.
Some of them.
Can I back it up?
Some of them.
Some of them.
Who would you say who's the player that most likely to become a head coach when they graduate? Who could you see being a coach when they grow up?
I want to say Fielding, but I don't know. I really don't know who.
Well, he agrees with you. He agrees 100%. And which player on the sideline during practice you might just look at and say, "Dang, do you ever just shut up?"
I'm not sure.
He's pointing to this guy over here. He's pointing to him over here.
He does talk a lot.
And who would you say right now that you've noticed, who's the hardest worker on the team?
I say mainly like our receiver group, because you can just tell they've improved on their speed, their catching, and their agility, and just stuff like that. And
then if you're in the weight room, you are working out, who would you give the alt score to first for some pregame music?
Coach Sargent.
You're to the coach. And then team talent show. Who would win if you had a team talent show?
I don't know. We have a bunch of talented people, so it'd be hard to choose.
Who has the most like rare talent?
I'm not sure.
Anybody sing?
I don't think so.
And then if you could describe Coach Miles' first week in one word, what would it be?
It was pretty scary at first because all the yelling and screaming, and he'd come over there out of his truck and get on to you.
You got the truck on him?
Yeah, I did. Once or twice. Off the record.
Off the record? We'll cut that part out later on. But hey, good to have you on here. You're a lot of fun. But hopefully, when it comes time, and Coach, it's rat poison, but hopefully I can come out here in the same spot and then somebody else first from the playoffs.
Yes, sir.
But, Coach, as we wrap it up here, are y'all having a good time? Look at that. Just being quiet.
That's right.
But, Coach, kind of the last question for us to wrap it up. What would you say to Panther fans who are excited about the new chapter of XO football?
I would say, number one, we're going to come out and support. And, again, that first home game we play Wilcox Central at home, week 3. Everybody needs to come out and support these kids, the work they're doing for the community, the work these coaches have put in, the work the admin are putting in, the teachers are going to put in when school starts, the band, the cheerleaders, everybody. Come and support because, again, when you watch these kids play, the way they play the game matters. The way they do stuff is going to matter. And we hope that the product you see on the field is going to reflect the work they've done. And, again, we're rolling back into bringing that tradition back, right? And we talk about every day owning everything we do. We're going to own the tradition here at XO. We're going to own everything we do. We're going to own it on the field. So we're fired up to see it. And, again, we hope you come out and support us week 3 against Wilcox Central. It's always a great day for the black and gold. And we say go Panthers.
And Coach, last thing, and I'm gonna end it with this because I told you I would. I almost forgot. So, talk about high school sweetheart. I know she's at work, but when she looks back at this, I at least want to make sure we mention her.
Right.
But talk about how important it is to have that good coach's wife, have that good lady in the back of your corner. Because my wife, I'm not a coach, but she sees the time and effort I put in, and I see her get a little bit testy. But how important is it to have that wife in your corner? And just talk about what it's like to be a coach's wife.
Well, it's important, number one, because the time that you spend away when you know, obviously, you know, when you're married to somebody, you spend your life together with them. But the time that you spend coaching and being around young men and being at athletic events, it wears on them because you're not around them all the time. And number one, my wife is a rock star because she puts up with me being away for so long, and she's always supportive. She always wants to be around when she can, when she's not working. And the great thing is that we're fired up to be up here. Next week, actually, we're going to get into our rental house and be a part of the community and be entrenched in it, and we're fired up for it. It's just important to have that support because there are days where you feel like, man, I just feel like I can't do anything right. And she's going to be the one to say, look, you need to calm down. You're being a little bit emotional here. Let's talk about this. Like, let me even you out a little bit. But, you know, when I first started coaching, it took my wife probably the first 4 years to get where she got used to it because it was just different. You know, if you want to be any good, I believe if you want to be good at anything, you got to put the time and effort into it. And sometimes that means you got to make sacrifices. But the sacrifices for the better we're trying to make and build young men. And the great thing is that she wants to be a part of that. She wants to be a part of building that and being a part of Excel. And again, I think you can't be a great coach without a great wife because she is kind of that we talk about a better half. That is your better half. That's the one that kind of picks you up when you're down and vice versa, right? You got to be there to pick her up when she's down. So I just think it's key, you know, especially in a community like this. You know, the kids need to see us together. They need to see what it looks like, what his marriage looks like. You know, is Coach Miles just talking about it, or does he do it every day, right? So I just think that's key to what we do.
And folks, this is your new head football coach of the XL Panthers. If you're not fired up, then you need to rewatch it and probably come sit here next time I have a show because I'm fired up and everybody in here is excited. I know they can't wait until that first game where they can see it strap up and see on the sideline because it is a new era at XL. And I think it's a great era, the Michael Miles era. And, Coach, we will have you on again, hopefully around the middle of the season, see how the progress is doing, and to see everything going on at XL. Whether we're sitting here at the field house, whatever the case may be, I look forward to having back on again.
I appreciate it, man. You're always welcome.
And, Coach, this was Inside the Program, the XL Panthers, head coach Michael Miles. I'm Andrew Ethers as always. And y'all tune in Monday night for another segment of Inside the Program at Powerhouse Sports. But until then, y'all stay safe and God bless. Thank you.